Chromebook we have right now that most of the students have in their hands. This is an HP 14-inch Chromebook. Simple black, fairly durable, but we did get some feedback that said, hey, we'd like something to protect it and make it, just putting it in a backpack. We were finding that some of the edges were getting, cracked because they would just drop in their backpack. And so we went out and got this case. So all students are getting the case, the Chromebook, and the charger cord, 6th through 12th, when it gets rolled out stuff. So next year it is 6th grade and 9th grade with some select other park classrooms. So they will all receive a Chromebook, more than likely this one, and a case just like this. It's nice and padded, and they'll be in the back if you want to touch them. I know a lot of you signed in on this one here, so you kind of get to feel the keyboard and see what it was like, very similar to what you're used to. One of the things we wanted to talk about is some tips and tricks. The students went home with these, the honors bio students. The first ones to get it, 400 students approximately, went home day one with these. And those teachers had their book online, so it's all online. So that was really the only way that they were going to be able to access their book for the classroom. So we thought, what a great way to start and see how these things work. So when we gave it to them, we basically handed it to them like this, and we handed them a power cord and said, here you go. And we learned a lot from that. So they came back to us at that One World Committee, like I said, and said we would really like to have something to protect these. We're putting them in our backpacks, we're trying to be careful, but things are still happening. So we went out and researched and got some cases. The teachers also said there's some things that we would like to see. The kids are coming to the class without them charged. So maybe we could talk to them a little bit ahead of time about, some of these things we just assumed. You charge your phone overnight, right? Everybody charges their phone overnight. You don't leave in the morning with a dead phone. So we said, hopefully not. But we just assume these things. So we created a little list here. So always charge at night. One of the things as far as internet safety goes is we like the students to be charging them in a common room in the house. Don't always keep it in the bedroom. If they're in the bedroom charging it, that means they could get on it later at night, right? While you're sleeping, or so we kind of say, just some best practices. If you want to keep them in the kitchen, that's every night you charge it in the kitchen. When you leave for school the next day, it's right there. You unplug it, you throw it in your bag, and you go. You can even be in your bag while you charge it. Just keep it unzipped, and it can be in your bag. Protect, protect, protect. Like I said, I have a 14-year-old. He's going to be a freshman next year. I know what they do with those backpacks. When they're going to practices, they just kind of throw them and they shove them in their lockers. So we're hoping that this will help a little bit with that. But even when they're carrying them around at home, when they're letting their little brother or sister use it to play something on it, or letting mom and dad just always talk to them about being safe with it. They cost a lot of money. They're nice pieces of equipment. So just it's the best you can protect it. We just always encourage your students to do that. Obviously avoid liquids and things like that next to it. Spilling on them. I don't know how many we've had, but we've had quite a few. We've had some teachers spill liquids on them, and that's not good with electronics. Restrictions on use. This is something we're going to go over a little bit later, but definitely you want to talk to your students. And maybe you don't always know. So in my feedback form, maybe there's a class that we need to talk about. Parents should know that their students can do and are doing on the internet, on their devices. And Common Sense Media is a great place to start. There's a link there. But when they come home, they have to be in at a certain time. They eat dinner at a certain time. They have practice, they have homework to do at a certain time. It doesn't seem like there's always restrictions on when they can be on the internet or when they can do that. So something you might want to have a conversation with them. I'm going to restrict your internet access, for playing games, for accessing YouTube, things like this. Maybe they have to do work. The practice went till 9 o'clock, and it's only for schoolwork right now, and you're going to use it in a common area. In the kitchen, in the living room. You're not going to go in your bedroom and sit on it and play on the internet till midnight. So just think about those things. Some of the common things that the parents didn't know about when we talked to the parents, these came home, and they weren't sure how to do anything. Like, where's the power button? Because the power button's kind of sleek and hidden. So they didn't even know where the power button was. But it's up here, and if you hold it down long enough, it'll reboot the computer. But most of the time, did it pop up? Yeah. So most of the time, the students do this, which is fine. That puts it to sleep. And when they open it back up, it should just open right back up, right? And it pops back on quickly. But if you do want to power up, something freezes. You know, just stops and you can't click and nothing's happening. One of the things you can do is just hold this button down. It's quick, easy, it's kind of like a little reboot of it. If it comes back on and nothing, yes ma'am.
How long does the charge last?
The charge on these lasts about 4 hours. So the newer ones last a lot longer. So they'll double that pretty much.
Would they do that in school?
Charging in school, we have adapters. This is what the plan is, and Mark can correct me if I'm wrong. The company that we bought these from has agreed to give us power strips that the kids can plug into in the classrooms. So they can bring their power cords and plug them in there. Obviously we encourage, but by 4th hour, 5th hour, you're right, they could be dead if they've been using them all day. So there will be power strips.
So you said the newer ones last twice as long. Have you purchased all of them for all of the students then?
We did not purchase them, nope. We did not purchase all of these on the first, the buy. So we will be purchasing more coming up as we go. Yep. Good question though. Yeah. Any other questions about that? So that is one tip or trick to reboot this without having to say, well, now I can't use the computer. The other one is there's a battery on these that pops out on the back. Rick can show you. Sometimes that just helps. Like I had a key one time, like I couldn't press the K key or something. For something it wasn't working. I had no idea. Reboot it, K key didn't work. I popped the battery out, popped it back in, booted back up, everything worked fine. Don't know why. But we've been doing that with a lot of different, so sometimes those are the first two things I do. I don't even, mess with the reboot. I pop the battery out, I reboot, done. It takes a couple seconds and then everything's back to normally. And then if it isn't, we have a media specialist. So the great thing about these is when the students did do all their work, it's saved by the second. So when they're in their documents, there's no file save as, there's none of that stuff. They just type. All of a sudden, it breaks, the machine does something weird, and you do the battery, you do the power on and off, you do whatever. They can actually go onto another device at your house, if you have one, and start up, and they can just log into Google with their username, and everything will be there. They might miss the last letter that they typed or something like that whenever it froze, but it will all be there, and they can continue to type. They can take it into the media center the next day, give it to the media specialist. He or she may go through some of those troubleshooting procedures. They also have a couple more that they can try. If it doesn't work, we hand them a loaner. They take that loaner and they're back on doing whatever they want to do, and eventually they'll get their other one back. So possibly that's what we've worked out for that. So that's what's nice about this. I mean, if something happens, they did not lose that stuff, which has been great for us. And I think I was talking to one of the media specialists. I think did a whole folder, had a bunch of files in the folder, and somebody else deleted the whole folder. Was that anybody back there?
This Heather.
It was Heather, yes. How freaky would that be? I mean, she did a lot of work. All she had to do is go back into her history, go right before the person deleted it, click on it, everything appeared back. So it's really nice, and so that's a good thing. Any other questions about some tips and tricks for the Chromebook? I mean, that's basically all you can do to it to get it to work again. And again, you can always Google something on another device and see, but those are the ones that we use quickly in class.